Lena had always felt like she was running a race she could never win. No matter how hard she tried, she always seemed to be a step behind. Her best friend, Mia, had a thriving career. Her neighbor, Jake, had a beautiful family. Even strangers on social media seemed to have their lives perfectly put together. One evening, after another long day at her uninspiring job, Lena sat on her small apartment balcony, scrolling through her phone. She sighed, seeing yet another post from Mia, this time, a picture of her new car. Why does everything seem so easy for everyone else? Lena muttered. That night, unable to sleep, she decided to take a walk. The streets were quiet, with only the occasional flicker of a street lamp cutting through the darkness. As she walked, she passed a small diner that was still open. Inside, an elderly man was sweeping the floor, humming softly. Feeling restless, she stepped inside and ordered a cup of tea. The old man, noticing her tired eyes, smiled warmly. Rough night? Lena sighed. I just feel like I'm not enough. Everyone around me is doing better jobs, better lives. I keep comparing myself to them, and I always fall short. The man nodded knowingly and sat across from her. Let me tell you something, he said. See that tree outside? He pointed to an old oak tree standing tall by the diner's window. Lena nodded. Next to it, there's a small rose bush. Now, would you say the oak tree is better than the rose bush? She frowned. Well, no. They're different. Exactly, he said, smiling. That tree has deep roots and strong branches, giving shade and shelter. The rose bush, on the other hand, blooms with color and fragrance, bringing beauty to those who pass by. Neither is better, they simply have different purposes. Lena sat still, letting his words sink in. The moment you stop comparing yourself, the man continued, is the moment you realize your own unique worth. Your journey is yours alone. You might not see it yet, but you're growing in ways you don't even realize. For the first time in a long time, Lena felt a weight lift off her shoulders. The next morning, she walked into work with a new perspective. Instead of envying her coworkers, she focused on her own growth. She started pursuing her passions, writing, volunteering, and even starting a small side business. Little by little, she built a life that was hers, not measured against anyone else's. Years later, as Lena sat in her own cozy cafe, a dream she had finally achieved, she saw a young woman sitting alone, looking lost. Smiling, she walked over, placed a cup of tea in front of her, and pointed to the oak tree outside. Let me tell you something about that tree, she said, and just like that, the cycle of kindness continued. You are not in competition with anyone. The moment you embrace your own journey, you'll find peace, purpose, and happiness.